What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Rishan Govender, and today we have a really exciting video for you guys. We are coming to collect a new car. As you can see here, I just sat in a tow truck for about an hour. We're in Benoni right now. We had an hour's drive from Santon to here, and we've come to fetch the car. So I'm really excited to see the car. We originally came on Saturday. My dad, Trent, my friend, and I came. We came to see the car, check it out, and we decided that it's a good buy. The car needs a bit of work, as you're going to see coming up. It's a rolling chassis, a Ford Capri 1600 GT, and it's got the 1600 Kent engine and gearbox. Everything's there. It's just outside of the car. So I think that's why this car was a bit harder to sell to your average person. But obviously, you know, our channel, we do restorations and builds like this, so it's perfect for us. So we're gonna go in now, see the car, check it out, waiting for the guys to come open for us. Check out the car. I'm gonna give you guys a quick preview of the car, show you what it looks like and everything, and then we're gonna pop it onto the trailer, and then we're gonna take another hour's drive back to Santon. Once we get to the Santon shop, I'm gonna show you guys everything on there. So show you everything that the car comes with. It has a full interior. It needs a bit of TLC. Car needs to be washed. The engine bay definitely needs a wash, but the car has been resprayed. The guy restored the car. He just didn't have the time to put the engine and stuff back in. But yeah, so I'm going to be showing you guys everything. I'm really excited. This is the first Ford Capri we've had. My grandfather originally had one, my dad's dad, but I'll give you guys some more information about that once I get to the shop. So, as you guys can see, here's the car in all its glory. This is a 1971 Ford Capri 1600. As you can see, it's been sitting outside for quite a while in that guy's driveway. Quite a lot of dust. And yeah, so it's got a bit of work to do. As you can see here, we've got quite a lot of boxes of parts. We've got a sump there, bell housing, and then a whole array of spares and rubbers and extras there. So if you guys look in here, there is currently no engine, so it's just an engine bay with all the brake linings and fuel linings, which is nice, as opposed to our E30 when we got it. The engine is sitting in the workshop. I'll show you that now. So if you guys can come see in the interior, we actually have a pretty much full interior. The seats were redone, so they're in really good condition and then being done really well. The lighting's not too good. The original steering wheel, it says Capri in the middle there. We're gonna get this steering wheel rewrapped. Under here, there's a bit of loose wiring that needs to be tidied up, and the panels for the side footwells need to be put in, but the dash is here, all the gauges are here. It just needs a radio. The roof lining is really good condition. As you can see, it's a rust-free car pretty much everywhere. All the important pieces, there's no rust anywhere. Underneath the car, in the section over here and the section opposite, there's a bit of rust, but not bad, and it can be fixed. Other than that, it's a really clean body, really clean car. Amazing color. You guys know how much I love red. And we've got another project car, so we're going to be doing quite a bit of work to this over the next couple of weeks. Hopefully by next week the car will be started and running. That's the goal. There's our radiator here, so we need to send this in to get reconditioned. Other than that, I'll show you the engine a little bit. So as you can see, here's our engine. It's in really good condition for a 70s car. This engine was rebuilt, so it starts, it runs, it's all good. All the internals have been redone, so it runs fine. Next thing we're gonna do is strip the gearbox, check the rear main seal, see the condition of it, probably replace it, check the clutch and check the gearbox side of it because that wasn't touched, only the engine side was touched. And once we get it running, we have quite a lot of plans for this car in terms of putting put side drafts, get an exhaust manifold, and get all of that done so we get a really nice running Ford Capri. But that's all so far. We're going to send the car to get washed so it can actually look good for when we're working on it. And the engine bay is really dirty. As you can see, it's a pretty similar color to our F100 there. So we're going to have two red Fords. It's an absolutely beautiful car. So the reason I actually went out and got this car and decided to get it was my grandfather back in the early 80s had a Ford Capri that he put a Volvo straight six with trip carburetor setup, and it was absolutely amazing, and he sold the car. So my dad grew up with that car, and he helped my grandfather build that car, and he absolutely loves the Ford Capri. We love Fords in our family. We're a Ford family. True blue Fords, meaning the old 70s and 60s Fords. They're absolutely amazing. This was called the European Mustang. Basically the same guy who designed the Ford Mustang that's in there designed this car as well for Europe, because Europe obviously didn't get the Mustang, so they went out and created their own Mustang. So it's basically a smaller proportion Mustang with better handling and better suspension feel. It corners better. It just obviously doesn't have the straight line speed as the American Mustangs do. But if you look at it from this angle here, it's got the nice sloping roof at the back with the long front bonnet, typical GT style. And I think it's just an absolutely beautiful car, and it's really small. I absolutely adore small cars. They're better for handling, better for tracking. So plans of this car so far is get the engine in, get it running, get it started, and from there we will build upon that and make this into like our many other cars that we build. So you're going to see this car on the channel much more now. I'm going to send it off to get washed now, and I will show you guys what it looks like after it's washed and cleaned, and we're going to roll it into the shop and then lay out all the parts and get started on this. So as you guys can see, it is currently the next day. I've come to the shop. I'm here by myself today. It's a public holiday, so I've got a little bit of time to do some work on the car. I came with it at 6 this morning. I made a stop with the builders, so we've got our drills, tools, some more drills, some head studs for the engine if we need more drill bits, and in here we have a whole bunch of stuff. So I've got paints, sandpaper, brushes, a couple other things. So today the plan, as you can see, we've got the Capri. I washed it last night. It looks a bit more clean. Obviously it needs a really nice sand down and polish. Car sat in the sun for a while. As you can see, the paint has never been polished. It's a bit rough, but it was a decent paint job. So we're gonna need to obviously later on sand down the whole car and give it a nice polish and bring the color out more and get rid of some of the orange peel. But for now, our main concern is the engine. So if you look over here, there is currently nothing, as you can see. One good thing about this car is it comes with brake lines, because unlike my E30, which came with absolutely nothing, I'm not going to have to remake brake lines, which is nice, because the brake lines were a bit of a hassle to make and bend and custom make brake lines, so that makes my life a bit easier. Fuel lines are there, which is nice as well. This car, we never had fuel lines. Also a bit of an update on this car. Haven't been giving it much attention the past week, but I got some really good progress on the oil cooler. It sits in there. It's quite dark so you can't see it, but you can see the line there. So I've got the oil cooler mounted, radiator mounted. Everything is mounted actually. All we need to do is figure out our wiring situation. So I've got a new fuel pressure gauge over there. All our fuel lines are connected, run, so we can run fuel in the car now. I just need to figure out the wiring. Also made a custom dipstick mount over there. I'll show you from the other side. I actually took this piece of flat bar metal over here and I bent it and made it fit so we can fit a dipstick. So there's a dipstick over there. So we need to now figure out the wiring for the engine bay, and once that's done we can plug in the ECU and send some power to the starter, send some power to all our things here, and we can get it started. It's a bit of update on this car. As you guys know, I love red cars, clearly. Red cars that don't run. So today, plans are to get the engine bay cleaned and ready to put the engine in. Okay, so as you can see, Trent has arrived. Take you to the engine bay. I just did some cleaning up. You can see, took off all the gunk off the steering rack and the subframe mount. Clean up the sides. I'm gonna have to paint over there. I'm gonna paint the steering column nice silver and put black paint everywhere at the bottom there. Trent and I just moved this engine from the side there. We brought it here. This is our 1600 Kent engine, completely stock manifold, stock carb, very teeny tiny carburetor, which is going to be going in the future. Right now, so far we know that this engine has been rebuilt and it starts and it runs. The guy who sold us the car showed us a video of it running. They started it on the floor, so it runs, it drives, it runs, and it's good. It doesn't drive yet. We still have a lot of work to do to get there, but so runs, it drives, is good. Next, we have the mission of taking off this gearbox. We need to check what the clutch looks like and check that rear main seal and hope it's not leaking, and check the condition of it. If it does need to be changed, we probably will change it just in case, because it's an old car from 1971. Lots of things to do on it. So we are going to pull this off and I'm going to show you guys what the clutch and everything looks like. Good. Okay, so as you can see, our engine has no gearbox. We took it off. It was a bit of a struggle to get it off, but we got it off now. It's a really tiny gearbox, really small valve housing, but overall it looks pretty clean. I think it was touched and redone, because you can see all the grease is still nice here, the green grease there. And if you look over here, we still obviously have our pressure plate and flywheel here. I'm going to take that apart now. I'm going to take these bolts off here, take it out and assess the clutch, but it's going pretty well so far. Once we take that out, I also want to check the rear main seal, check what that looks like, as I mentioned before, but this is the progress so far. There were only like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, I think. 6, 7, 8, 9 bolts. Yeah. 9 bolts holding on the gearbox and the starter over there on the floor. Obviously, I'm going to go ahead and give everything a good clean. I'm going to paint the gearbox as well. So I've got some nice new paint for the valve housing and the gearbox. So Trent and I are going to get our hands a bit more dirty and get that clean, and we're going to refurbish that. Cool, so as you guys can see, we have the gearbox on the jack stand. We've tried to clean it the best we could. It's a bit blurry, but this is the best we can give it. We've sanded it down. As you can see, quite a lot of dirt came out. Is the inside of the bell housing, so we're going to be painting this now. So I'm going to paint this part black over here, and then we're going to go silver all the way back, and I'll show you guys the end result just now. Okay, so I've just finished giving this up a second coat. As you can see, it looks like brand new. I'm really happy with the end product. It looks pretty cool. So I went black on the bell housing and then silver for the rest to give it a clean look. I got a bit of overspray on the side there, but I'll take care of that. So this is pretty much ready to go back onto the engine. I will do that tomorrow. It's quite late now, so tomorrow the plan is to, the clutch looks pretty good and the flywheel, so I don't think I'm going to change it. I think I'm just going to put it back on, and then from there I'm going to put the gearbox back on, and then I'm going to do some refurbishing over here. So like our intake manifold and our exhaust manifold needs a bit of work, but other than that, I'm going to paint this silver and the bottom black. I don't like the blue. I know Ford is blue, but blue won't look too nice with a red car, so I'm going to do that. And this engine was leaking. I could see a bit of an oil leak, sweat from the side here, so I'm going to go ahead and just check the gasket and reseal it on really nice so it doesn't come off. I'll show you in the engine bay. I cleaned it up a little bit. Tomorrow what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be painting the subframe and the steering rack a nice black, so it looks good, and then the steering column I'm going to paint silver, and then as you can see in the corner there, it needs a bit of black red paint, so I'm going to be putting a bit of red there. And then once that's done, we've sent our radiator out already to get reconned, so that's going to be coming back hopefully tomorrow or Friday, and I can pop that back on, and then we can tie up the engine. So we're going to put that straight in here. Brake lines, everything's there. I'm going to send the master cylinder out, and I'm going to take apart the caliper in the front and the drum in the rear and send that out to just get reconned, so we have a good braking system for the car. And then we're going to put everything back together, get the lines hooked up, get the engine on. I'm still waiting for the prop shaft and fuel tank from the guy who gave us this car, or the guy who we bought this from. He still has the prop shaft and fuel tank with him, so I'm just waiting on that. As you can see in the back, really clean carpet, but the fuel tank is supposed to go inside there, and we don't have a fuel tank. So I need the fuel tank to get this thing, you know, running and going. So that's quite a vital thing, and the prop shaft, obviously. So right now, next we're going to be doing the brakes, get that done, put the engine in, get the engine running and going, and then take it from there. I think once that's done, I want to drive the car a little bit, get it going, and then we're going to send it out to get completely polished and sanded down. Okay, so as you guys can see, the car is up on jack stands. Gearbox, as I said yesterday, was painted. That's all good. I've mocked up the brake master cylinder and brake booster over there, and we're busy with the braking systems now. So we're gonna send out the brake master cylinder to go get a sample so we can get a new one, and currently looking for a new bottle at the top there. Brake booster, I'm going to refurbish and get that painted and looking nice, and hopefully it works well. I've got it linked up to the brake pedal down there, so that's all good. So our next challenge is the rear of the car. As you can see, I've stripped the drums off, I've taken off the wheels. So this side over here I've cleaned up already, but thing can focus. These shoes look really good. Even the drums look good, so there's enough meat there, so we don't have to change that. And the brake cylinders look healthy and good. I've just gone and I've put a bucket underneath. I sprayed a whole bunch of brake cleaner and engine cleaner in there and degreaser, and I've degreased the whole thing. So that is ready. This side's ready for the calipers, the drum to go back on. I'm just gonna go ahead and paint this black because the blue is not looking good. Not a fan of the blue paint the guys put on before, so I'm gonna go ahead and sand that down, and we're gonna paint that black. And the same for this side over here. This side is a bit more dirty. I've not cleaned it yet, so it's a lot more dirty. So we're gonna go ahead and just work on the rear of the car, put those back on, get the wheels back on, and then work on the front brake system of the car, and then hopefully by the end of today the full braking system will be on, bolted, and bled and ready to go. I still have to take off the fronts and assess the calipers there and see the condition of them, because this car has drums in the back and calipers in the front, so I'll keep you guys updated on that. Okay, so as you can see, the car is up on the lift. We put it up yesterday. My dad and I pulled out the subframe and steering rack. You can see the subframe would normally run along here, and the engine sits on top. So this morning I was sanding down the tunnel for the gearbox and just prepping everything for paint at the bottom here. As you can see, it needs quite a bit of paint, so we're going to paint under here, up on the tunnel there, down there, and the sides here. I just want to paint everything where the engine is going to sit. The rest of the car, as you can see, needs a lot of work at the bottom, but we're going to do that later. I just want to get the engine side done first. So I've prepped everything for paint, I've sanded everything down already, and then we're going to start painting over here later on. First, we're going to deal with the subframe and steering rack. I've spent the better part of 2 hours sanding this thing down and washing it and getting all the dirt and grime off it. This is the aftermath of all of that. I've prepped it for paint now. I've sanded everything down. I see us wrap the steering rack there. We're going to paint the steering rack after painting the subframe. I'm going to just do everything in wrinkle black and get it all looking nice. I've scrubbed and scrubbed and scrubbed, and this is the best I could get it looking. You can see a little bit of metal there after sanding it down. See, we've got the boots over there for the steering rack, so we're going to be doing that after. First, I'm going to give this one coat, and then we'll see how it looks after. Okay, so as you guys can see, we have the gearbox and starter back on the car, looking really nice. There's the engine there. We have our bench over here and our steering rack mounted up to our subframe, which is painted. Not the best job, but it will do for now. We have our new CV boots on there with new grease, and next step is to get the engine on the table. Instead of using a crane to drop it from the top, we've decided to rather do what we did with the E30 over there and mount this to the subframe and then lower the car onto the table and get it on. I think that's easier, and we won't scratch much paint in the engine bay when trying to drop it in from the top. As you can see, the tunnel has been painted black, and we have put some coating of rubberizer over there just for the rusty areas so it doesn't rust up, and that's all that we've done for now. Next step is to get the engine on here and raise it up and put it in the engine, so I'll show you guys that next.
You were supposed to take off the wheels, eh?
Were we?
Yes, sir.
Smile, Becky. You're going on YouTube. So you can see the engine's up. Got it on jack stands. We're gonna lower the car and then mount up these points to the chassis over there, and then on this side over here. You can see my lovely painting on the subframe and the gearbox side. We've painted, so it is ready to go into the car. There's the wiring harness we're going to be sorting out tomorrow. Okay, so as you guys can see, the car is off the lift and we have an engine in the car, which is pretty cool. So see, it's mounted up on the sides there. This is the 1600 Kent I was telling you guys about. It is been rebuilt, but it's a stock engine, not much done to it. There's a carburetor over there, the exhaust manifold on the side there. I've mounted up the fuse box, and now I'm kind of just trying to lay out all the wires and get them all going to their place. It's not too complicated. See a couple of the wires there, the wires for our starter, our battery, get the wires to our coil over there, and then get the wires to our headlights. Laid the headlight wires down there, but yeah, as you can see, it is really tiny. The engine bay is actually quite big. You can definitely fit another two cylinders there, so if we had to go straight 6 or bigger V8, we definitely have the space. When they do the V8 swaps, they usually delete these over here, so I'm not too sure if I'd want to do that, but usually they put the 302 Mustang engines from this car over here in here. That's a common swap, or if possible I could find a Cosworth engine to throw in there, which would be awesome, a Cosworth 4-cylinder. But for now I think we're just going to get it started, get it running, and then the first thing I'm going to start on is the side drafts. I'm trying to find a pair of those, and then we'll do a nice exhaust manifold going down to the exhaust there so we can get a nice note out of the car. But yeah, engine is in, gearbox is mounted up. We just need to connect the prop shaft and the fuel tank, and then we'll be ready to go. As you guys can see, this car looks quite similar to this car over here. This is a 1967 fastback Mustang with a Coyote V8 in the front. Well, as you guys can see, we have the car up on jack stands. It has been, I think, a week and a half since the last time I filmed. We got quite a bit done. We've actually got the car running now. The engine turns over. So we've sorted out all the wiring, as you can see there. Our wiring loom there. We have a new radiator. Well, we refurbished the original one. We sent it in. It's got a new core, painted black. I had to make custom mounts to fit the radiator. You can see there at the bottom there's a mount that runs along the bottom that holds it up. The fuel radiator hose is connected, all the wiring done. So what I'm actually doing now is busy with the fuel hose. So as you can see, this is the original one. It's not very good condition. It's quite old, and this can probably perish anytime while driving. So instead of using a hose, I don't feel comfortable using a hose from the back to the front of the car. We're going to do what we did on this car, and we're going to put metal lines that I've made up. So I've actually gone ahead and underneath the car, I'll show you. Underneath the car here, you can see I have a metal hose running to the front, metal line running to the front, and then that's going to connect up to our fuel tank in the back, which I'm actually busy refurbishing now. So I'll put a picture up of what the fuel tank used to look like. But this is the fuel tank currently. I sanded it down and I painted it all back, and this is our fuel hose that's going to run and connect to our metal fuel line. So what's left is to take this, mount it in the back of the car, and then we can drop the car over here. We have our brake master cylinders connected, so that's all in. So what's left is to put the fuel tank back in, and we can get the car running, and then we can drive it out the shop. So I'm going to be working on that. I'll update you guys once the tank is in. Okay, so as you guys can see, we have coated the car completely in bed liner or rubberizer. We've done this side panel here, we've done the other side, and I only had grey and white, so I wanted black. So I'm gonna have to hit the whole car in black paint just to coat all this rubberizer. As you can see, here's the rear fender wells. We'll get it down here, the sides here, just the bottom sides, and we hit fender well over here, and then along the side of the car there. And the bottom of it we've left. I'm going to do that in black rubberizer when I get some, but I just wanted to coat all the major parts of the areas, all the major areas, which are the sides, the fender wells, that spot over there, and then this back part here. So yeah, so all the rubberizer has been done on the main areas, letting it dry, and then we're going to drop the car. And then I'm going to show you guys the engine, which is actually in now, which is really exciting. We got the engine in last week Friday, it's now Monday, so there's the bottom part of the engine there, you can see. So we got that in. So cars are close to running. I need to now work on the electrical systems. The engine's in. We need to connect up the fuel lines. All the braking systems are good. Just waiting for my brake master cylinder to come in, and then we can hook that up. So today I did the rubberizer, and I'm going to start on the electrical side of things now. So just route all the wires and see where they go, and then check what wires need to be replaced, what harness, what things need to be covered and wrapped, and then we'll take it from there. Let's see, it's the front fender well being coated completely. So we just need to connect up those things, and we're close to running now. So I checked the drums in the rear and the calipers in the front. They're all good. They've been replaced, and so that's really good. The clutch, I told you guys, is all good. So in terms of that, we're good. I'm just going to go ahead and show you guys the engine bay once we drop the car down, and show you how we're going to attack the wiring harness. Okay, so the last video you guys would have seen is me reversing the car out and taking it for its first test run. So the car is obviously running and driving. We just took it now on the road for the first time. It drove pretty well. It's just this small little carburetor does not do this engine justice, and it's not running too well. So what we're going to do is take this off and replace it with these over here. These are what you call side drafts. They're basically 4 individual carburetors, so it's 2 twin carb, and it's like ITBs on a petrol car. So you've got individual ports for air intake. So this is definitely going to change up the car a lot, change the way it drives and runs. So we've already gone ahead and painted the manifold. I've done a full refresh on these carbs. We opened it up, took out all the jets, cleaned up all the jets, and these are basically ready to go into the car. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and strip this down, get all the pipes off, take this manifold off, and then put this one back on, and then start putting everything together. So yeah, that's where we're at now. Also, we painted the valve cover silver because the blue did not look too well. So when we took the car on the test drive now, the main problems we were picking up was the carb problems, and also we are not pulling any vacuum for the brake booster. So the vacuum pipe comes from here, and I'm gonna have to find a port on here to connect it to. I see there's a small port on the side here that I'm probably gonna have to run it off, and then we connect our water pipe over here, and then we're gonna have to make up new fuel pipes that connect our fuel pump at the bottom there. So that's where we're at now, and I'll keep you guys updated.